Judd Arthur with the New Zealand national anthem, a man who played many games himself here on Carisbrook for the Otago representative side. And now for the last time, everything's for the last time tonight, for the last time, the New Zealand haka on Carisbrook. Yes, they save it for special occasions. Kapa Aupango. And it is a special occasion here tonight. Tonight's referee, George Clancy from Ireland, assisted by Mark Lawrence from South Africa and Paul Marks of Australia. And TMO, man upstairs, Matt Goddard from Australia. We're almost set to roll here. The 37th All Black Test at Carisbrook and the last, as the respective coaching panels look nervously on.
Okay, kicker. Okay, captain. Okay, let's go.
So George Clancy checked with the Welsh. They're ready to go. Daniel Carter has the ball, and the final Carisbrook test match is underway as Carter puts it down inside the 22, and nicely claimed there by Alan Wynne-Jones. And Wales will look to clear this with Mike Phillips. Israel Dagg getting his first test in the game, and he's come up with it nicely. Dragged down immediately though by Lee Halfpenny, and the All Blacks have it just on their own side of halfway. And Jimmy Cowan glances across to his right. Kevin Mialamu stands over the ball, and he's looking for a runner, Mialamu. And he does. He gives it across to Brad Thorne, who takes it just on the Welsh side of halfway. There it is now for Cowan. Into the arms of Victor Vito, and the big number 6 shunts it up a few extra metres. Cowan missing Thorne, but finding Rocket Thoko. As the All Blacks got a good early feel of the ball. Charging in goes Mialamu. Cowan again. This time swings it across to Carter. Stanley in midfield. Hit hard and lost the ball in the tackle. Now it's to Bradley Davis. And Wales in possession now, just on the All Black side of halfway. Phillips gets it across to Stephen Jones. A lot of Joneses in this team tonight, so we'll have to bring in the Christian names as well, as Mike Phillips works it back on the inside. It's now with Jamie Roberts, a man the All Blacks have to be wary of in midfield as they drive it down almost to the 10-metre line. Phillips looking short side, hands it off to Davis. That's Bradley Davis. And the All Blacks looking for turnover ball. It's not there again. Working the blind side with Adam Jones. Keeping it fairly short at the moment. Now Stephen Jones. Another test here. Might have pushed this a bit too far. And Dagg, he looked comfortable. It just swirled a bit towards the end, but he came up with it nicely. takes it quickly and gets rid of it downfield. Tipping it in field was Ryan Jones. Now, was he standing in touch when he hit it? Not sure about that, but it's not given. And so here's Corey Jane looking to free the ball away. Does so for Carter. Now it's with Rokafoko. A lot of movement early on here. Right from the kickoff, remember. And they charge, and here's an opportunity for Wales. But Carter's, or is it Dagg? Yes, Dagg will get back and cover it. So a nervous moment there for the All Blacks.
Well, the first play went for about 1 minute 50 seconds, so both sides keen to play with the ball in hand. The All Blacks want to take Wales on up front as we see the pressure on Daniel Carter, that rush defence. Dagg covers, but we go back to the start. There was a player out in Isbo that the line touch judge did not pick up. But Wales are trying to cover that ground quickly on the inside channels to not give the All Blacks the advantage line, and obviously try and put pressure on Carter also.
Carter went away across to the far side, and it's beautifully taken down by Vito. The ball has been lost forward though, and Wales back in possession. Now here's a drop kick coming from Stephen Jones. Hit it pretty well, and it is over. So first blood goes to Wales. The drop goal by Stephen Jones.
Well, that came from the turnover ball. I think it may well have been Anthony Borrett who claimed it got hit hard in a tackle turnover. Jones went straight to the pocket, didn't hit it that well, but it went over nevertheless.
A lot of booing in the crowd behind me, and I can't understand it. That's just professional rugby. Last week, Ireland didn't start at all well against the All Blacks. Wales have made them pay early.
And that's only the third drop goal too by a Welsh player against the All Blacks. Barry John's got one and Neil Jenkins has got the other one.
Well, Stephen Jones, that's his 7th in international rugby. So 3 points to 0 as McCaw waits, and he came down with it nicely, Richie McCaw, and he should be able to lay this back on the Welsh 10-metre line. Now Carter rips it across for Ben Franks as the All Blacks find themselves behind early in the match. Away goes Cowan, got the pass off nicely to Borich. He in turn links up well with Mialamu. Another ball spilled forward, and I think it was Kieran Reid who lost it on that occasion. So let's just go back and have a look at this nicely set up drop kick by Wales. And he had all the time in the world. McCaw came at him late, but through the middle it went, and 3 points to 0.
The All Blacks trying their offload game there. Perhaps one pass too many, but Wales have certainly come to play. They've got a big pack. They are trying to mix it physically with the All Blacks, of course, from their point of view, trying to dominate. And one way you do that is to make sure you hit hard on defence.
Don't let me see that again, guys. He's pointing properly, second row.
First scrum of the game.
Let's go.
So Lee Byrne is just... might be Stephen Jones actually just parked away one to the right. So one would expect Wales will just try and get a solid scrum and just move it across to the right-hand side, perhaps roll one down the touchline.
Break it up. You're down too early.
So on this near side in the first half, we're looking at Owen Franks on the tight head side of the All Black scrum against Paul James.
Let's get that engagement sequence correct.
Well, this is a new thing really for the All Blacks. Remember last week they scrummaged for 70 minutes against 7 men.
Crouch!
Mike Phillips is a big man for a halfback, you can see. There's plenty of him. Not a bad scrum from Wales either, as Phillips moves it across.
Stop.
Dagg again in good position. Having a look at Corey Jane, but he goes after it himself, but it's come off the side of the boot and has gone directly into touch.
And it's Wales there making good use of their resources. Lee Byrne being on the left foot was standing at first receiver, so they moved to the left. But Israel Dagg read it superbly.
Form the line out, right? Form it.
Line out throw then for Matthew Rees. Tipped a bit untidily, but it's fallen for Phillips. Now Jones again. This time he goes across, and this is a good kick because this right winger Lee Halfpenny was unguarded. Now Byrne gets it back on the inside, and it's still controlled. So Wales hoeing into this. As Phillips flat pass, or big defence. The Franks brothers combined there to put Ryan Jones down. They've still got numbers out on this near side here as it goes to Alan Wynne-Jones. So the big lock getting tied up in midfield. They're certainly making good play here early in the game are Wales. Good tackle there by Stanley, and now Phillips gives it to his hooker Reese. Now it moves across to open side flanker Gavin Thomas, back in the side after 3 seasons. Now Jones once more. That's Stephen Jones turning back in the inside to Byrne, who's a dangerous runner from fullback. Phillips again, good hands. Now here's an opportunity for centre Andrew Bishop. The goal line is only 6 or 7 metres away here, and Wales building nicely as it goes to lock forward Bradley Davis. And the All Blacks are going to have to rally here. Again, it's there for Phillips. Again, the numbers are out wide if they can get it across. Here is Alan Wynne-Jones again. Had a couple of players on his left and ignored them. But they set it again with Phillips once more. Just to the 5-metre mark. Ball lost forward by Adam Jones. The All Blacks were sweating on a mistake and waiting for some advantage, George Clancy. There's been no apparent advantage as yet.
Nobody obstructed. Keep it there.
Maybe the advantage is over already as Jimmy Cowan hands it off, and Dag looking for the touchline. And the All Blacks under siege, but they've survived.
Well, they did, but it was great play by Wales, wasn't it? They had width on attack. They had the All Blacks stretched, particularly on the left-hand flank, but their ability to retain the ball, very good. Good quick hands there, but scrambling defence by the All Blacks kept them out till they finally forced an error. But I don't have a problem there. Turnover ball, you get it clean, one pass. I think advantage should be over. Doesn't matter where it is on the field.
Matthew Reese again.
10 to 15, 10 to 15.
Wales set pieces working well early on. Nearly 10 minutes gone. 3-0. Stephen Jones, the drop kick.
That's one scrum half.
Good use here of the rolling maul. Now the All Blacks bring it to a halt. They've gone to ground, so it'll have to be cleared. One or two of the forwards pulling away for Phillips. And a very flat pass indeed, just moving the ruck about 5 metres or so infield. Now Phillips gives it off to hooker Reese. Phillips for Stephen Jones. Here's the kick once more. Again, it's Dag having to line this up, and he goes early, but in fact it's been stolen away from him. And it was Halfpenny. He's lost the ball forward. Again, advantage applies, and now there's some wide open spaces as Cowan makes the kick away downfield. Stephen Jones, not a lot of room to work.
Keep retreating. Come on, let's work.
Lobs it into centre field for Dag, and now the All Blacks might look at opening this up. Some of those Welsh players didn't retreat as Reid goes for a run. Now Jane, and nobody really in support.
Well, Ben Franks, but he just wasn't quite quick enough. So again, the All Blacks being tested. That's about the 3rd bomb Wales have put up. Stephen Jones has done that. All kicks have been, well, pretty accurate, really.
We're not going so huddle every time we have a line out.
So it was Lee Halfpenny who won the aerial battle here. Just turned nicely, got him just in front of the ball and was able to keep Israel Dag away from it. Great skills.
Reese to throw again. Easily taken down.
You're in offside position.
And penalty given.
Number 3, offside.
Using
Obstruction.
Jonathan Thomas, the big number 6 in the lineouts, but an infringement. And a bit of relief here for the All Blacks, who haven't really troubled the Welsh at all so far in this game.
No, we'll just look at the stats. I mean, we're just over 11 minutes in, and it's 60%, 64% territory to Wales and 74% possession. So they are dominating at the moment. So this is, well, it's a real workout for the All Blacks.
Foxy, you'll know in the foreground just to the left of Dan Carter, Richie McCaw has gathered them round. Obviously things he's not happy with he's seen so far. And you're right about that kicking of Stephen Jones. It has been pinpoint, and Halfpenny has been just hugging this right touchline, getting involved and being very accurate. And it's the Rokotoko-Dag combination been under pressure on this left-hand side.
Good kicking display in New Plymouth last week from Dan Carter. Tough one first up. Drifting. So no goal. And the Welsh continue to lead. 12 minutes gone in the test match by 3-0.
He just didn't hit it quite right, Daniel Carter. It should have come in from left to right just a smidgen. You just see it faded the other way.
Ali Williams in attendance tonight.
The Blacks need to be careful. They're running quite a short defensive line, and there's lots of space out on the flanks, and Wales have identified that. Stephen Jones is starting to direct kicks to the touch lines.
Israel Dag has been tested under the high ball 3 or 4 times already. Back it goes for Rokotoko. And the Welsh have plenty there in attendance. Now Cowan across for Reid, and easily read there by Jonathan Thomas. Carter delays it, still going, held it up nicely, then got the pass off to Smith. Now Jane, and big defence on him by young Tom Pridey, the 18-year-old. Cowan again, Carter, rush defence, which is common to teams coached by Warren Gatland. Now Stanley takes it to the line. 5 metres on the All Black side of halfway. Cowan again. Carter works it across to Owen Franks. Not really making a lot of progress. Nobody has broken the line as yet. Now Smith. Here's Vito handing one player off. Off he goes to the halfway line, Vito. And someone flopping over the top. In fact, no, it's against Vito for hanging on.
Yeah, it was Ben Franks who missed his target on the clean out. It left that Welsh player on his feet, contesting for the ball. So this is a shot at goal.
Just behind the halfway line.
Just have a look at the replay here. Vito touchlines your enemy, brings it back infield. It's actually Stephen Jones. Good body position. See there, just Ben Franks missed his target. Jones had first rights. This is Lee Halfpenny. So he must be the guy who takes the long shots, obviously.
Just reminding folks of the conditions, there's basically no breeze at all. So Foxy gets no assistance there, and he must be, what, 53 on the angle?
Yeah, be all of that, Smithy.
It's a good strike. It's a beautiful strike. Never any doubt about it at all. Excellent penalty goal by Lee Halfpenny, and Wales lead by 6-0. Carter back at halfway. 15.5 minutes gone. And the All Blacks not threatening Wales with their attack as yet. In fact, they haven't been inside the 22. As Phillips makes the kick. Dag has plenty of time on this occasion, looking to link up. Instead, drops it onto the boot. Burns scrambling across. And he's a natural left footer, so there's no angle for him.
Stop.
And gets it away to Dag once more. Dropping back is Reid. Looks across to Rokotoko. Now for Dag. Breaks the first tackle, then throws a loose pass, which is snapped up by Victor Vito. 5 metres in Wales territory. Now here's Thorne. Takes it to the setup as the All Blacks try and up the tempo of the game. And there might have been a turnover. Looks like Wales are interested. Here they are, as it's handed off by Gavin Thomas.
Release the ball, 15.
And taking it through the centre was Andrew Bishop. In fact, it was Lee Byrne, the fullback.
Read the ball, all right.
The All Blacks fancy their chances here now. As Cowan, now the race is on. Pridey having to get back. Oh, the bounce, he did well. Dragged it in. that threatened to go over his shoulder, and there were 2 or 3 All Blacks following up, and the youngster did really well to clear that.
Yeah, he did, and it was a great turnover won by Victor Vito, I think, after Wales had won one just before then. But the Welsh tackling is low, and it's got a bit of sting in it. And Jimmy Cowan, it's a little bit earlier, but Cowan saw the space in behind. Very clever kick.
First real attacking opportunity then for the All Blacks. Kevin Mealamu can't hear the call for the din. George Clancy wants him to hurry. Mealamu throws. Unchallenged was Brad Thorne. Now the All Blacks trapping it in the back here. Owen Franks has it. Taken to ground by the Welsh, so they'll have to start this over again. Mealamu pushing them wide. Now Vito, assisted by McCaw. Good ball for Cowan to work across to Carter. Drops the pass off to Jane, but they read it well in defence. And that attack snuffed out right in centre field. And penalty. Cowan takes it quickly. Here's Mealamu, I think, diving. It is Kevin Mealamu down under there. Now, did he get it to the line? That's the question.
I'm sure we'll pick up a camera angle easily to watch this.
Is there any reason why I can't award a try?
Thank you.
So Cowan gave up a certain 3 points, chanced his arm, and just may well have paid off. No problem. Try Kevin Mealamu. 10th test try and his 71st test.
There's no reason why you can't award the try.
Well, he scored a famous try down here a few years ago to save a test match. And here he is on the board again. Jimmy Cowan, number 9, started it. Kevin Mealamu, number 2, finished it.
I'll tell you what, that'll frustrate Wales because the All Blacks have been struggling to get into this contest. They've had no field position. They get it once and they come away with a try.
Carter to give the All Blacks the lead. So Kevin Mealamu, a veteran player these days, picks up another test try, 7 points to 6.
Well, they wanted to take them on initially from the line out, didn't they? They drove and drove and drove. They had one phase through the backs. That was snuffed out when Corey Jane came in. Wonderful tackling there. Jamie Roberts has been very big in defence. But Jimmy Cowan, great battle this with Mike Phillips. Jimmy Cowan seizing the opportunity, and Kevin Mealamu, as always, in support. Great fight back, first time in the 22.
Almost halfway through the first half as Stephen Jones kicks off. Claimed by Richie McCaw. Test number 82 tonight for McCaw. So he joins Muliaina, second most capped All Black. Sean Fitzpatrick on 92 as Carter kicks downfield. Plenty of time for Andrew Bishop to get his kick away. In fact, it was big Mike Phillips. Now here's Israel Dagg up the middle. And he's lost the ball in the tackle. All Blacks pouring through. Referee holding the advantage. Stephen Jones. And there's a lot of space out there with Israel Dagg committed further upfield. Now Carter, his first thought is, can we possibly counter-attack from here?
Keep an eye on Dagg. He's suffering a wee bit at the back. He's staggered up from that hit on him.
I said before there's been a bit of venom in the Welsh defence. Second time the All Blacks have coughed up the ball in the offload channels. So just a bit more accuracy needed there. But Wales will be happy with their work on defence so far.
Reece throws towards the back. Didn't look all that straight, but the All Blacks may prosper from it anyway. And penalty. Cowan again takes. Again, up the centre he goes. Jimmy Cowan gets him support from his skipper. He lost the ball forward. It looked like it anyway. Yes, he did. And scrum, Wales ball.
Well, All Blacks are trying to speed the tempo up here. Struggling to unlock this rush defence. we may need to look for more field position. Just play with a little bit more structure and put the ball in behind them. Well, they are playing with their own structure at the moment, which is this ball in hand, high tempo offload game. Maybe the ball on the boot, a little bit to turn them round is what's needed at the moment.
Crouch. Sink. Touch. Pause. Break it up, yeah. No. Pulled out of it in fairness. Come on, second rows, get it right now.
So from this position a bit earlier, they used Lee Burns' left foot. Israel Dagg's taken a central position on defence quite deep, so maybe they'll use Stephen Jones to the right this time.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. Down to early, Black. Down to early.
So against the All Blacks, and off goes Phillips to Ryan Jones. Good tackle made on him, though, by Dan Carter. Wales have been good recycling. Stephen Jones once more. Again, there's plenty of elevation on this, and Corey Jane has to wait. And does beautifully, and manages to break 2 or 3 tackles and lay it back. So Cowan works it across. All Blacks have numbers here as Vito sends it off to Stanley. Mialamu sold the dummy and kept going. Kevin Mialamu. Oh, a thumping tackle on him. And what a good one too by Mike Phillips, the halfback. As Stanley charges over the 10-metre line. It's there again for Cowan. Thorne, referee playing advantage here. The All Blacks way as Cowan waits more. Takes it to the left to McCaw. Looks to straighten it through the centre. No advantage. And it's against number 7, Gavin Thomas, offside. And Carter will shoot for goal right in front.
Well, aren't you loving this contest? This is a real test, isn't it? All Blacks got off to a great start last week, and it really shell-shocked Ireland, but boy, it's not happening tonight. They can't influence this game too much at the moment, particularly because the men in red have just got this defensive wall, this mentality to get off the line, and they are making their tackles count.
He's a big bloke. He's Phillips for a halfback. Is he making his presence felt as a defensive unit? But clearly offside there was Gavin Thomas, just a step and a half in front of the rest of that very quick defence. But there's plenty for Warren Gatland to be encouraged by at this point, even though they're about to concede 3 more than likely.
Excellent kick again. So Daniel Carter kicks the penalty goal, and the All Blacks draw out to a 10-6 advantage.
That's penalty goal number 177 in Test rugby for the All Blacks for Daniel Carter.
Foxy, I'm getting worried about you with those numbers, boy.
Oh, and I spent all this time writing them down. You've got to use them somehow, don't you?
Fair enough.
Stephen Jones kicks off. 2 players calling for it. In the end, it was Cowan who took it. Cowan again. Now Carter. Claimed again by Phillips, this really tall halfback. Dagg takes it in, claims the mark.
I think he's recovered.
There you go, Red.
A little bit worried about the All Blacks and not turning behind the kicks very well at all.
Dagg gave it off to Carter. Now Lee Halfpenny, who kicked that long-range penalty. Now Lee Byrne.
Keep retreating, Red.
And Byrne leading the charge. And he's knocked it forward in the process. But the kick chase is really good.
Well, the first thing is the kick's good. But I am a bit concerned that the All Blacks, there's a lot of guys just turning around and watching and ambling back. There's not enough urgency to get back and support the ball carrier at the moment. They're just not getting back in numbers. So while that's happening, Wales will persist with the tactic to put the ball in the air.
Yeah, well, Dan Carter was the man under pressure there. He was covering the left-hand touchline. Nismo, while there's a break and play, can we just say hello to our All Whites? I'm sure we can. I'll bet they're up watching this in South Africa.
Absolutely.
So, fellas, from our point of view back home, we're loving every minute of what you're doing. Carry on. Knock those Italians over. That would be brilliant.
Wouldn't that be great?
Well, there have been enough upsets at the Football World Cup to suggest that it's a possibility. Now the man down is Gavin Thomas, playing his first Test match in 3 years for Wales. Tony Woodcock on the bench tonight.
I think this might be the first feed the All Blacks have had to a scrum, maybe the second. They're certainly looking like they're lining out to attack. There's no one off to the left-hand side apart from Joe Rokocoko.
Oh, staggering last week, Foxy. There were 5 scrums in the entire Test match.
That's not many.
Nope.
Not for the big boys. They wouldn't have liked that too much.
Under the hooker's feet. Well, went at the second row rather, which is even worse. So Wales bring it up through Gavin Thomas. Now Phillips across to Ryan Jones, dragged down by his opposite skipper Richie McCaw, and the All Blacks can't quite turn it over. They tried to. Here's Jamie Roberts, and he's thumped hard. Here's Halfpenny right out on this left wing side, the right winger, as it comes to Phillips again. Alan Wynne Jones driven back strongly by Ben Franks. Stephen Jones works it across once again to Gavin Thomas. Phillips goes again. This time it's stabbed through. Carter waiting for it, or fired back in field. And here's Jimmy Cowan looking to counter-attack. Clever play. And he's belted this away downfield. Now Ryan Jones charging at him with Stanley. A lot of movement in the game. Now it's with Andrew Bishop, the centre three-quarter. And he's burst out of a couple. Carter goes in looking for the ball. Phillips goes again. Rough pass. But Reese works it across.
Stay strong, stay strong.
Nice work by Roberts. Way out on the right wing side. Wales giving the ball plenty of air and effectively as well, as Adam Jones sends the pass. They're just out from the 22. Phillips digs in again. Now Stephen Jones. And running the All Blacks left and right. Turns it back inside to Jonathan Thomas. And the ball lost forward. Referee looking for an advantage. There is none.
Touch. Engage. You're just fading away, Wells. Fading away.
So this time against the Welsh. Now Reid breaks the first tackle. Cowan has Carter off to his left.
Stop, two, come back.
Good distance on the kick here from Daniel Carter, but Halfpenny off to Byrne. And that's a big punt too from Lee Byrne. And just kept in by Dag. Oh, Carter got hit late, I suspect. That's a shocker.
As Dag, I think they're giving him a lot of attention, this boat. It was Carter's in pass and they read it and they went after Dag. And he's finding out about Test rugby this week.
He's had a bit of a searching examination.
Oh, that's late, surely.
Well, he was airborne, though, and you can't change your angle when you're in the air. The referee didn't have a problem with it, and to be perfectly honest, I don't either.
It often looks worse than it is.
Well, as I said, he was airborne, so he couldn't change his line.
Good clean ball here for Wales. Here on the charge is Jamie Roberts. Now Phillips for Stephen Jones. Into the centre three-quarter, Bishop. Ball pops back again. Halfpenny again roving out on this left wing side. In fact, the two wingers pretty much playing together on this near side.
I went 3 and 8.
All Blacks looking to turn the ball over, and here's a chance for Corey Jane. He could go all the way here. Defence coming across. He's going to have to step, and he's still going. Corey Jane.
Well, A bit of luck for Corey Jane as the ball popped out of the side of the ruck where Wales struggled to control it. And just go back, and this is where it started. Just see how that ball popped out. In fact, it was that Conrad Smith who went in as the ball was placed to the side of the ruck. Jane had a bit of work to do. He did have a support player in McCaw, which he could have offloaded too, but Jane very good on his feet. Smithy did a very good job.
Yeah, but Wales will look at themselves and say, what the hell happened on our blindside defence there? And I'll tell you, there was a great shot, the first replay, of Pridey just heading off right. Halfpenny gone up from the maul. He headed off right. They had absolutely no cover there. Corey Jane, I'm sure, could not believe his luck. Where was the Welsh cover on the blind side? It was all heading right, all heading open.
Well, I think they thought they had the ball under control, Smithy. That was the first thing. And so they were looking to load up for attack and forgot about short side defence.
Well, they've had 61% territory, 60% possession, Wales, and they find themselves down by 15-6. Carter looking to add a couple of extras, but no. So that's 2 tries tonight by the All Blacks. Mialamu the first, Corey Jane scores the second.
Look at him head right. Look, no attention to the ball or anything. Just get out wide, get out to the open side. No one there.
Yeah, he wasn't paying attention, you're right. And as I said, I probably thought they had the ball under control and was looking to where he was needed on attack.
Stephen Jones restarting. McCaw claims it. Goes past Ryan Jones. Taken back inside the 22. So Carter looking to keep it in the field of play.
One in front of the kicker. Number 1.
And
Number 1 in front of the kicker.
Ben Franks, the man in front of the kicker.
In front of the kicker.
Well, they've been particularly vigilant, referees, under the new interpretations of players getting in front.
They've been strict on it right throughout the Super Rugby campaign, and rightfully so, because it does help the counter-attack.
All right, yeah, okay.
And allows more room for players to bring the ball back. That space is not closed down as quickly. And of course, when you're kicking out of defence, you've also got to be very disciplined.
Rob Howley there, former Welsh halfback. What a good player he was. Good straight kick by Stephen Jones. So he kicks the penalty goal to add to an earlier drop kick. And it's 15 points to 9.
Well, that was a good strike back by Wales, quickly getting points after the All Blacks had scored. So that will please their coaching staff somewhat.
Just over 5 minutes remaining until half-time. Carter's kick fairly short. Okay if a Welshman hits it first, and they do. So here's Ryan Jones. Slips the pass to Roberts. Mike Phillips waits. Byrne kicks. Now Dagg gets the call from Jane. Decides that that's not the way to go, so let's try this near side for Conrad Smith. Looking to free the arms. Can't quite do so though, as Cowan rips it across to Carter. Now it's Owen Franks with Rokafoko standing in there. Now Cowan again. Carter looking to step. Busting his way through Dan Carter. Good run. 5 metres in Welsh territory. Cowan. Owen Franks once more. Vito. Good ground almost to the 10-metre line. Now Thorne backs his way in. Good powerful surge by Brad Thorne. Ball is there again for Cowan. Now McCaw. Some good continuity here. Wales having to make a lot of tackles.
Yeah, okay.
Carter again. Now Stanley. Oh, he's lost it in the tackle. And Wales looking to counter-attack. going back after it and tidying up is Gavin Thomas, but they'll take the scrum, and Wales have another player down.
They're defending well, Wales. They are keeping guys on their feet. They're not chasing lost causes at the breakdown, so there's plenty of players available in defence, and they're making their tackles count.
3 minutes left, first half. This has been a stern test for the All Blacks in the first 40 minutes.
Touch. Pause.
Wales have had the territory, they've had the possession. And they've got another penalty.
Take it down.
I think that was Owen Franks that time. And the ball, he just went to his knees, didn't he?
Well, that's a very good kick. The All Blacks looked as though they were going to cover that kick, but they let it go. And here's a chance just before half-time for Wales to mount another attack.
Well, it'd be good reward for them, wouldn't it? I mean, they have brought plenty to the park, to Carisbrook here in the first half. It's only some staunch All Black defence that has kept them from crossing the line. So, critical period for both teams here. Scoring points either side of half-time. Very important in test matches.
Taken down by Jonathan Thomas. They've used him a lot, the number 6 in the lineouts. Now Reese struggling his way downfield. Still 10 to 12 metres away from the All Black line. Oh, and the ball was left there, and I think the All Blacks very close to turning it over. Well, it's against Brad Thorne, who was shoved over at the top of the ball. Whether he could do much about it, I'm not sure. But George Clancy reckoned he could. So, it'll be a penalty attempt.
Actually, Foxy, that was interesting, that drive from the line out. I thought the All Blacks got away with it a wee bit there. They looked a bit fragmented, and the lead man from the Welsh point of view came detached, and all of a sudden the All Blacks were able to regroup.
Yeah, well, that's part of the idea to defend the rolling maul, Smithy, is try and split it. But well, you can see Warren Gatlin's coaching influence here. I mean, he loves his sides to be abrasive at the breakdown, and Wales certainly are that.
Well, this will tighten it up even further. Jones from a fair way out, looking to bring it back, but it doesn't move. So the opportunity just before half-time is lost. 15 points to 9.
They just need to be settled here, the All Blacks. Field position is what's needed, so... Well, I noticed last week in New Plymouth, Carter went right across to the 15-metre line on the far side of the field, give himself plenty of space to launch the ball high, which is what he's trying to do.
They waited for the Welsh to take that in. Not really competing. Jones has dropped right back into the pocket here. We might just have another drop kick coming up here. Yep, we do. But rather too hurried. The All Blacks came rushing at him, and they comfortably controlled that. Now there's a counter-attack coming here through Dag as he steps his way downfield. Carter puts the gas on. Off it goes to Vito. Tried to slip the pass. Thorne snaps it up. He just couldn't get his pass away quickly enough, Brad Thorne, but it's not over yet. But there's a turnover as Phillips gives it off. Here's Roberts, looking to stand in the tackle, got it off to Halfpenny, and Wales might have the final shot at it just before half-time. And now it comes to Stephen Jones, to Gavin Thomas, Ryan Jones, Alan Wynne-Jones. Byrne on the run, but he's knocked it on, or he appeared to. And it's been stepped into touch, and George Clancy will blow the whistle for half-time, which he does now. So they head to the dressing rooms, and the All Blacks will take a 6-point advantage, 15 to 9. Graham Henry laying down the law at half-time. Not at all happy with that All Black performance in the first 40 minutes. The crowd are in good heart. Packed capacity, packed house, 29,000 here. There have been days when there have been 45,000 in this ground. Okay, let's go to Smithy. He's with Steve Hansen.
Steve, what's the message during the break there?
Well, 3 key messages. One is accuracy when we're ball carrying. Hang on to the thing and don't give it away. We've done a lot of that. Second thing is we need to get in that left-hand corner. They saw us last week, obviously throw the ball around. They've got a flat defensive line and they're leaving that left-hand corner open for us, so we just got to take that and just got to meet their aggression. It's going to be a good test match, so we've got to match up.
Thanks very much for that. Thanks for stopping by. Alan Phillips, manager of the Welsh side. Alan, the message from your dressing room at half-time?
Well, just got to believe in ourselves. We're just a bit frustrated to be 15-9 down. We've had 2 try-scoring opportunities we didn't take. Thought they were a bit fortunate on that last try. You just believe in ourselves.
There's confidence there, isn't it? You can see it.
Yeah, they're getting stuck in. Territory, 64%. You just start believing in yourselves.
Good on you, mate. Thank you.
So a little bit of frustration around in the Welsh camp. That's understandable. They've dominated territory and possession, but they're still behind on the scoreboard. The All Blacks are back on the park. Wales still to come. And Foxy, a lot to look forward to in this next 40 minutes.
Well, if Wales can keep the same intensity level and not drop away, this is going to be a heck of a contest and we'll go to the wire. The message from the All Black coaching staff at half-time, and you heard Steve Hansen, so it's about those drop balls. We need more accuracy when we're carrying. Field position was really the other message there. And also, they've just got intensity levels. They've got to meet the Welsh aggression, which Wales have probably won the physical battle so far, and when you do that, you go a long way to winning test matches. So the scoreboard makes a bit of a lie of that at the moment, because the All Blacks' finishing power, when they get the opportunity, well, we saw it last week too. They were very clinical, and they have been so far tonight when they've been at the right part of the field.
Proud rugby nation, Wales, and they certainly displayed that in the first 40 minutes. So we'll have a look around and see if there are any new players out there. It looks to me as though...
As is Nisbo.
As is. Thanks, Smithy.
They don't have the luxury of a handy half-time lead, do they, like they did last week, to make those changes. We might see a few, but it might come quite a bit later in the match.
In fact, I tell a lie, because I see on the far side here Richard Kahui in jersey 22.
Okay. So let's see who's his replacement. I presume that's Benson.
I can't see Dag.
Oh, okay. So Corey Jane's probably dropped back to fullback.
Yep.
Israel Dag took a bit of a pounding in that first half, so he has left the field. Now here's Mike Phillips. Outstanding halfback. Stephen Jones tries to run it, and he smacks into McCaw and makes no progress at all. Now Phillips works it across to Byrne. Not a lot of distance on this kick, and it's been controlled. Well, it was controlled. It's been hacked ahead by the All Blacks. So Byrne gets another shot at it, and this time gets it across towards the line, and Carter lets it go. So let's work that out again. Corey Jane has gone to fullback.
Yep.
Rokafoko and Kahui playing on the wing then.
Yes, he's Kahui on the right wing, and it was a head knock to Israel Dag. I think we saw that, and it's a reaction to that, and not good enough to carry on. So here's Kahui in 22 on the right wing.
So, 5-man line-out option and a defensive position for the All Blacks.
Nialamu finding Boric with a good throw. McCaw bobbled it, got it the second time, and lays it back. Now Cowan. Carter drives it away with a powerful kick downfield. Halfpenny. He's got Byrne with him, and on his left boot there's a nice angle to bring it back. Carter will claim this and get rid of it as smartly as he can. Does so. Here's McCaw. Straight up the centre goes the skipper. The Welsh defence has been really staunch. Carter slips a nice pass to Rokafoko. He's close to the touchline. In fact, he's over it as Mark Lawrence puts the flag up.
Just watching the All Black forwards mainly again. They're not turning and getting back and supporting when the ball's in behind very well at all. So no early signs of an increase of intensity from the All Blacks. Wales, well, they've just started where they've left off at the end of the first half.
Reece throws. Both sides doing well at line-out time.
That's one scrum half. One. You want to use the scrum half? Use the scrum half.
Now, referee wants this
Use it.
to come out quickly. And Phillips. Rokafoko wants this. And nicely taken too by Rokafoko. Thundering into the opposition. Cowan gets rid of it. Carter just drips it on to the boot. Corey Jane ran smack into somebody, and now here's trouble as Byrne comes straight through the middle. And Jane, just recovering, had to make the tackle. Now Halfpenny, and the ball is deflected off an All Black and knocked down by Bradley Davis. And it'll be a scrum All Black ball, and Corey Jane checking that everything's still in place. He had problems during Super 14. And I think that was in Cape Town where he got knocked out. This is Israel Dagg. Oh, the head hit hard too, didn't it? And
All Blacks have got Woodcock up off the bench here in 17. He won't get on in time for this scrum, but it's an early change coming by the look of it.
well, he's a natural loose head prop. So Ben Franks will probably be the man to come.
You can see that the number 1 card is down on the touchline.
Crouch. Touch. Pause.
Now Reid off the back. Good run by Kieran Reid, almost to halfway. McCaw steps over it now. Cowan flicks the pass wide. No latitude for the All Blacks at all as Cowan sends it off downfield. And this might be a little bit too far perhaps. And yes, it is. And that kick was made on the All Black side of halfway. So back they'll go.
Nan Carter was lost in the breakdown there because he had to carry the ball forward, and so the All Blacks lost a bit of structure from that breakdown.
Well, that was the first time really I think we've seen Kieran Reid able to make some ground with ball in hand. Remember last week he was all over the place. It's just a sign of the commitment the All Blacks have needed in closer this time around. Changes made.
Well, the Welsh also had the All Black scrum under just a wee bit of pressure. I'm sure they were looking to bring it left into Daniel Carter's hands. Kieran Reid had to pick it from the boot and go down the right-hand touchline.
So Tony Woodcock comes on for his 62nd Test match. The All Blacks have spun this around, but Ryan Jones makes a little bit of progress. Phillips waiting. Now Stephen Jones charged by McCaw, at least charged by Reid. It's McCaw leading the charge. Inside the 22 they go. The All Blacks needing numbers there. It's Woodcock trying to fight his way down a couple of metres. Wales have recovered pretty well. Now here's Cowan. Slips it off to Anthony Borich. Couple of metres short, Borich.
That's fine, that's fine.
And referee's quite happy the fact that Wales had managed to slow this down. He said the ball was up off the ground and they might have even turned it over. And Phillips has got the kick away. It's not out yet. Rokafoko lining it up. Appeared to go back, and Rokafoko steps a couple down to the 22. There it is again for Cowan. Now Carter. Just quick hands required. Vito tried to slip the pass. And the ball has been lost forward.
Oh, great scrambling defence, Wales. First the turnover, and Anthony Borich went through. I think that was executed by Andrew Bishop, was the guy who got it and did it. And Victor Vito there on the right-hand touchline should have been more patient. I think he did the right thing by carrying the ball, but he shouldn't have tried to execute the pass. He just gave possession away. All Blacks. Here's the charge. It was Kieran Reid dive straight at the right foot
Here's a mark. Up here.
of Stephen Jones.
Here's a mark. Down the middle.
And here it is here.
Keep that drive straight.
A simple draw and pass. Vito did the right thing. Oh, that's a miracle ball, really. More patience needed.
Big scrum here for the Welsh. 8 minutes gone, second half.
The old Brooks humming his boat.
Certainly is.
Well, the Welsh scrum has functioned very well so far, but this is the first one they've had hard on defence.
Touch. Pause.
It's an untidy Welsh scrum.
Trying to get this right, guys. Break it up. Break it up. Up.
Well,
Stop talking to me.
Woodcock's not used to watching rugby from the bench, so there's no doubt he'll be keen to make a big impression. And that was a binding issue. Neither player allowed the other to bind properly.
A lot of experience on this near side. Adam Jones, 63rd test against Tony Woodcock, 62nd test.
Touch. When you see a touch, you're red. Pause. Engage.
All Blacks. And they've got themselves the penalty.
Back 9 red. Back you go 9 red. 6. Back up. Back up 6. Back up, Captain. You have your penalty. Back you go. Back you go. What's your decision here?
Richie McCaw quickly makes the call. It's going to be a shot at goal.
Yeah, well, if Carter kicks this, that'll put them out past the 7-point margin. So here's the scrum.
Just under the pressure he's got now.
No, that was Hunda Tony Woodcock there, the reason for the penalty against Adam Jones. I thought McCaw for a minute might have gone for the touchline to try and keep the blowtorch on Wales. And I think he's looked at the scoreboard. So we just need to get past that converted try margin.
Oh, that's a lovely strike. So Daniel Carter, penalty goal. Second highest point scorer ever against Wales now. Johnny Wilkinson a mile ahead, but he now runs into second place, Dan Carter, 18 points to 9. Stephen Jones kicks off. Richie McCaw wants it. Struggles his way over the 22.
Outside.
Carter drops way back. He sees Rokothoko. And again, bursting through the tackle, Joe Rokothoko. Good, strong run. Carter slips the pass to Thorne. He drops it off to Cowan. He pops it off to Reed. And here come the All Blacks through Stanley. Going wide for Jane. Now it's with Kahui down the right wing side. Back to Conrad Smith. As the All Blacks have run this, remember, from their own 22. Mialamu had to wait. Jimmy Cowan arrives. Now Carter looks on the inside for Jane. Back it goes to Carter. Lovely stuff. Carter! Dan Carter! And stretching scores! What a try!
Oh, that started 90 metres back when Carter declined to kick for touch or down the left flank. Instead, he threw it to Rokothoko, who brought the ball up and then back in field. They got the offload game going. Here it is here. Well, it's actually 95 metres, isn't it? Rokothoko came back to where the support was, which was clever thinking. Quick ball here at the breakdown. We're seeing this at the end. They're back on the inside. Ball alive once more. Daniel Carter off the left foot, took the angle on. That's test try number, as I look for it here, 26 for him.
Oh, brilliant continuity, and the looks on the faces of those fellows in the red box, shall we say, says it all. Completely and utterly caught by surprise there. Again on the blind side when Carter decided to throw at Rokethoko. That's his second fantastic run in the second half. Starved of possession in the first one. He is making an impact, Joe. And then the linking was just superb. Benson Stanley, a good wide pass. Corey Jane, Kahui in the mix, settling it down. Some great hands midfield from Mialamu. So many good things to talk about there.
Icing on the cake for Dan Carter, converting his own try, and suddenly the All Blacks find themselves 25-9 ahead.
And this is where the belief might become a problem for Wales. 2 quick strikes by the All Blacks. First a penalty goal to get points after getting some field position on attack, and then the try right from the kick-off.
Jones goes straight down the centre. McCaw goes early, and he's made those kickoffs his own, Richie McCaw. Cowan rips it off to Stanley. Corey Jane does the kicking. Now Byrne. Not bringing the ball back by hand as much as they were in the first half, Wales. But they have got the ball back here. Not a lot of structure, it has to be said, as Mike Phillips goes for a run. All Blacks contesting. Standing over it is Gavin Thomas.
Halfpenny very wide over your side.
Very wide. But the ball's run loose, and it's been kicked ahead by Reid. But referee is going back.
Yeah. Knock on, boy. Right here. Good ball.
Conrad Smith off the line quickly against Alan Wynne-Jones. Forced the error at the tackle. No advantage accruing there, according to the referee. In my view, that should be advantage and play on. Why bring it back for a scrum? Keep the game going.
Wales looking perhaps to get John Yap on. Here goes Reid. Still in All Black territory by about 7 or 8 metres. As Cowan looks to release to Carter. Looking to test the young 18-year-old. Oh dear. Oh, he hasn't found it yet. Now he has. And off he goes. He's got plenty of pace, long legs. Tom Pridey. So in the end he got out of it okay. One of the All Blacks is down in a heap. As Stephen Jones makes the kick. Could be Anthony Borich down, I think. Taken up by Kahui. Woodcock makes the pass to McCaw. Working overtime as per normal. Got it away to Jane. He in turn pops it back. Loose pass. Anthony Borich just, as you can see, quite near the play there.
Release him.
And he wants to get back into the action. Flat pass to Mialamu, the first try scorer in the match tonight. Now Cowan. Carter. Stanley gets it back. Carter well read by Roberts. There's Woodcock again. Now Reid looks to free it up to Rokethoko. Had the ball knocked.
Advantage over.
And the advantage is over already as Jane confronted by Halfpenny. Carter drops back. Carter looking to start something. Good hands, Jane. And just on the All Black side of halfway, just keeping the ball alive, Mialamu. Now Carter, and Steve Hansen said at half-time, work that left-hand corner. And that's precisely what he does.
Yeah.
Borich no good. I think he's got a cut that'll need some attention, and from the sideline here, of course, we've got one of those Whitelock boys.
Well, that was a clash with his own player, Smithy.
2 changes for Wales, Foxy. They're going to drag number 10, so Stephen Jones is going to go and make way for Dan Bigger. Down in the front row, John Yap for Adam Jones.
Time off.
Well, there's a lot of test caps running towards you, Smithy. 90 caps, Stephen Jones, and 63, Adam Jones. Gee whiz. And looks like Anthony Borich is going to head to the sideline for the moment as well. So, well, he made a spectacular start last week, Sam Whitelock. 2 tries. He was only on the park for 10-15 minutes.
He scored with his first touch of the ball, didn't he? The All Blacks just trying to ratchet the tempo up a little bit here and challenging Wales to stay with them.
Reece throws. Whitelock gets up and disputes possession immediately. Wales get it, but under duress. And in fact, they knocked it on. So the value of disputing lineouts immediately obvious.
In the right position in the field to do that. And Kieran Reid, the lifter, that helped Whitelock get up so high, pushing him forward too, so he could get a hand on the ball.
Rob McCusker in 19 for Wales as well, and then from Scarlets to replace Gavin Thomas.
All Black backline set up. Joe Rokafoko just parked to the left-hand side of Daniel Carter, so they may well be looking for something down an inside channel here.
Touch. Pause.
Free kick, which will be taken by Reid. And he makes good ground out of 1 tackle, out of 2 tackles. Kieran Reid, and now Cowan away for Woodcock. Only scores tries against Australia, Tony Woodcock. Here's Owen Franks. Now Cowan pops the pass. Reid, is it? I think just about. And now away it goes again. Ball has been lost and hacked back, and Wales have got some speedsters here. Halfpenny is quicker than most of them chasing at the moment, but here comes Kahui across in cover defence, and can he control it? Ball is loose. The All Blacks might have it. Players scrambling back, and it is on the All Black side. And Jane Carter is deep in the in-goal area, and he gets it, and everybody breathes a sigh of relief. Certainly those in black do.
Halfpenny's got great speed, hasn't he? Kieran Reid was chasing back. Brad Thorne lost the ball there. The All Blacks are all up in the attacking line.
Toddy Wepu in 20 for Jimmy Cowan. What a great chase, Richard Kahui. Serious wheels there.
Let's go.
Which a weak case for him of playing the ball on the ground while he was off his feet there, wasn't there?
So 21 minutes remaining. Wales through Phillips, now Bigger, who's the new man in the first 5'8" position.
He's tackler, fine. There.
All Blacks having a crack at turning that over, not able to do so. That's a good cut-out pass. Now it's forward. That's probably why it looked good.
Just a switch play there by Wales. Hit the midfield. Turn the ball over quickly. I think they may well look a bit bewildered, because I've seen worse than that got away with. So
Billy Wepu is on.
Didn't see Daniel Carter just parked to the left. Now he's moving across to the right.
Down the middle from half. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. Down the other side. Let's have it again. Get that point longer on his back. Clean the boots. Let's go again.
These two sides go head to head again. Hamilton next Saturday night.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Off the back goes Reid. He's had a very lively second half, Kieran Reid. Wepu off for Carter. Again plugging that left-hand side for Byrne. And the All Blacks make pretty good ground there.
Yeah, net gain, just a defensive play. Move it to the midfield. Reid taking it out of the boot, clean the ruck, park Carter back to the left and look for field position.
Mialamu, Whitelock stretches across, takes it beautifully. Now here's Woodcock, making his mark on the game. Over the 22 he goes. Now Wepu brings it out, sends it wide to Carter. Carter, here's the call from Rokethoko. All Blacks playing with a bit of confidence now. Again, it's with Carter. Still 20 metres away. Wepu slips the pass to Stanley. And Benson Stanley about 15 metres short, and the All Blacks get a penalty.
You must release.
Wepu thinks about Makora's right there to make the call, and the captain's call is probably a shot at goal.
About that. There's no materiality.
It is a shot at goal. Makora keen to keep the scoreboard advancing, and it was Jonathan Thomas there who did not let the ball carrier go. And here's Woodcock. Carried the ball a good 30 metres for him. Set play by the All Blacks, and it was right here, Benson Stanley. You see Jonathan Thomas there, never gave Stanley a chance to play the ball. The ball carrier has first rights.
Turn the tiger loose, Tony Woodcock.
He's been a bit frustrated, hadn't he, watching? When you're a Test veteran, you do not like watching. Sometimes it's a good place, though, to rediscover the spark you need, because he certainly had a flat Super 14 by his standards.
On target again. Dan Carter dominating the second half. 2 penalties, a try and a conversion. 28-9.
Well, Wales might try and start by kicking it away from Makor.
Looks like Whitelock is going to claim this, and he takes it nicely.
No.
Carter waits for the Wepu pass, but it doesn't come, as All Blacks contesting nicely through Kieran Reid. Wales, though, have it. Now Phillips for Bigger. Phillips again. Quick hands by Jones. Back on the inside for Jonathan Thomas. All Black defence has been really solid in this second half. Wales, of course, haven't had the same amount of ball. Here again is Jonathan Thomas. Phillips. Bigger try to attack through the hands here. In fact, that was Andrew Bishop. Ball turned over, snapped up by Vito, striding off into Welsh territory. Mialamu sends it on for Makor. Now Thorne wide to Kahui, and now Whitelock, and into touch they go, and Welsh line out ball.
You see the pace of the game, I think, starting to take its toll on Wales. Guys are walking quietly, slowly back to the line out, so the All Blacks will be taking note of that. McCall will be demanding his players keep the pace up.
Still 15 remaining. Almost looked like a balk as it finally went in. Phillips. Kahui waits. Does well. Another player who didn't play particularly well in Super 14, stepping up to the mark tonight, Richard Kahui. And having said that, somebody held on to the ball, and presumably it was Kahui.
There's not enough players in the ruck there, the All Blacks, to secure the ball. They were starting to reload to see where the attack was going next. Kahui, he's done a good job. He's not unfamiliar with the wing position at Test match rugby. I think he might have played there 4 times previously.
Deep throw, led by Phillips. Thumping tackle by Stanley on his opposite number, Roberts. Tackle had to be made though. Now Bishop hands it on. Here's Byrne. Good strong running fullback is Lee Byrne. Now Phillips. Flat pass, and again big defence on. This time it's Davis. Phillips again for Bigger. And they're looking for an overlap here. Not quite able to get it. All Blacks having to make some tackles, and Kevin Mialamu brings it away. Brad Thorne up to the 10-metre line. Now they'll be looking to spread it wide and quickly. And Carter drags it in beautifully. Carter puts the gas down. He can look either way here. Dan Carter, he's going to do it himself. Oh, brilliant. Back to his very best.
Well, the halftime message has certainly got through. A couple of minutes in the beginning of the second half, I was a bit worried, but they've gone up another gear, the All Blacks, and this came from a turnover. Mialamu secured it. He's been prominent tonight. Brad Thorne, well, you know he'll keep working all night long. And just good catch and pass skills here. Daniel Carter was trying to manoeuvre Joe Rokocoko into position, and the defence kept drifting off him. That was Byrne, and then Carter side of the try line. Well, that's all he needed.
Well, I thought he was a bit sleepy in Super 14, Dan Carter. He awoke last week in New Plymouth, and tonight he has just stamped his name all over this game. He has just been wonderful. His ability to read situations and spark things. Big tackle midfield by Benson Stanley too on Jamie Roberts, and he stayed down for quite some time and still isn't right. He's got a right knee problem back on the 10-metre mark. But across the board, you're right, Foxy. The All Blacks, it seems, are good listeners at half-time.
$23 points for Dan Carter tonight. Make that 25 as the All Blacks head out to 35 points to 9.
Okay, is it done?
And changes for Wales too. One in the front row at hooker, where Hugh Bennett goes on, and 16 for Matthew Rees. And yes, Roberts no good. The right knee no good from his point of view. So Jonathan Davis on in 22.
Carter's just broken his own record for points scored against Wales. 24 he got in 2005. Well, he's got 25 tonight.
Taken down by the All Blacks. Wepu bangs it off downfield. Mike Phillips. Could be a tough last 10 minutes for the Welsh as Bigger gets it across to Bishop. Oh, it's been knocked on, and so it'll be a scrum.
Popular change here coming up. Adam Thompson in 19, and that's for Kieran Reid, who's had a huge second half.
You didn't go in for the engage? Yeah, we're first.
Yes, plays all his rugby, of course, here for Otago and the Highlanders. But Kieran Reid, yes, big second half.
Well, he's just settling nicely into Test rugby, isn't he? You know what you get week in, week out with Kieran Reid.
Touch.
Vito then packing on the back of the scrum. He snaps it up immediately, gives it off to Piri Wepu, who slips as he comes to the opposition. First man there is Thompson, feeds it up to McCaw. And now Thorne. As the All Blacks look to hammer another nail into the coffin here. They've scored 4 tries tonight, 4 tries to 0. Wales haven't scored against the All Blacks in their last 3 encounters. Scored a try, that is. Now they're going to try and run it out.
Advantage open. Waiting
back is Jane. Looking left and right, finds Kahui straight up the middle. Richard Kahui now looking to link up and go all the way. Richard Kahui.
Well, it's a tired Welsh defence now. And the All Blacks counter-attack work pays off yet again. I thought last week against Ireland there were signs that they'd been working hard on counter-attack structure with the back three, and that was evidence of it again. It just opened up for Kahui. Test try number 5 for him.
Well, they're out on their feet, aren't they? The pace of the game, as you said, has just picked up noticeably from that first whistle of the second half from the All Blacks across the board. Everything they've done has been quicker, it's been better executed, and Wales just have not been able to recover. They're under siege and they're under threat of a hiding now, and really up until a few minutes ago they haven't deserved that.
No, the All Blacks have got the longest winning streak in history from one country against another. 20 in a row, the All Blacks. Last time Wales won was 1953, 56 years ago. So,
and Carter goes, Foxy. Let's pay tribute to Dan Carter for Aaron Cruden. Wonderful night.
Yeah, back to his brilliant best last week and this week.
So another 8 minutes of Test rugby coming up for Aaron Cruden. As another new boy, Sam Whitelock, stretches up. Can't quite bring it down. But Wepu, again punching high. Phillips. He'll take them on himself. He's a combative sort of player. Ryan Jones. Pass goes to Rob McCusker. Now Bigger turns it back on the inside. Oh, turnover again. Here's trouble. They haven't got much defence out here either. And here's Aaron Cruden. I reckon he could just about do it himself, but he's going to look for some support from Rokothoko. And now Cruden gets it back. Cruden for the corner. And not quite. Not quite.
Oh, great cover defence, Ryan Jones. The captain's still putting in the hard yards.
Red 9.
And Perry Wepu, the wide ball, and that put Cruden in space. He's just trying to position Rokothoko. I think the Joe of old, to be honest, might have put the afterburners on. Not quite as quick as he once was.
Can you repeat that, please?
Dan Carter's disappointed. All Blacks have won another line out against the throw. So Hugh Bennett not finding his mark. Still 6.5 minutes left in the game. The All Blacks have cracked 50 4 times against Wales. Wepu again turns it back inside to Thompson.
Release.
Adam Thompson.
Hands on the black, leave it black at last.
And looks like Wales might have grabbed this one. They'll be delighted to have done so too. It's Havis Noyle. Sends a low pass, Bigger. This is brave. And Pride, he grabs it. That's 1 or 2 All Blacks with him at the same time. All Blacks in there contesting Brad Thorne, making it really difficult. So still trapped near their own 22. And black jerseys swarming all over them, looking to turn this ball over. Now, Migger. Nicely controlled by Cruden, up to Rokothoko. And he gets tipped over. And the ball is lost forward.
A pleasing aspect from the All Blacks' point of view tonight, and the coaching staff, will be the defensive effort. After last week where they conceded 4 tries, they haven't conceded 1 tonight.
Well, business as usual, because they went through that Northern Tour last year without conceding a try at all. So it was surprising when they gave away 4 last week. So Ella de Melmont, John Smithy.
Yep, for Kevin Mealamu, who has had a very strong night tonight. Kevin Mealamu, it's been very combative in the front row. The lineouts have worked well for him. And he's been very prominent in the loose.
Keep it straight. Keep it straight.
Well, he's been a real warrior, Kevin Mealamu, over the years.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. Still right. Okay, I'll try and get it louder for you. Yeah, okay.
Well, at least Wales still have Mike Phillips on the field.
They got him at centre in his boat.
Yep.
Seconds. Seconds.
Crouch. Seek. Touch. Pause. Engage. Let's go. Stay on 7.
Well, scrum under a bit of pressure. Here is Phillips running straight at Cruden, but Vito gets there and completes the tackle. Now Noyle hands it on. Not really going anywhere at this stage. To step his way through was Bradley Davis.
No, went back.
Bigger again.
Nothing there, no.
They'd love to run the length of the field here, Wales, but it just looks a little unlikely as they probe out in centre field. And this time the penalty goes, so one would imagine it's tap and go. Yes, here they come. But Noyle gets to the 10-metre line, and that's it. Phillips tried to play at centre, but he couldn't help himself. He went it at half-back. Wales going nowhere. All Blacks look as though they might have turned this. Wepu grabs it. Now Rokothoko. Here's Smith. Back to Wepu. Ball knocked down, and that'll be a knock on. Welsh player accidentally offside. So the All Blacks will get this good attacking scrum.
And see what the All Blacks are trying to do from the breakdown. As the defence gets more tired, they're starting to turn the ball back in and try and catch the forwards with their hands on their knees, where they're putting backs against them, so sort of feeding the speed, so to speak, and trying to make yards through those inside channels.
Let's go, guys, come on.
5 tries to 0 tonight. 42 points tonight, Anthony Borich. The scars of battle.
Crouch.
And Joe Rokothoko in at first receiver on the left-hand side. And I do think this play will move across to the right.
Vito off the back, sends it to Rokothoko. Quickly for Cruden. He lays it back, snapped up by Vito. There it is again. Now Whitelock getting driven towards the touchline. In fact, the ball has been ripped out. And it's Wales' ball. In fact, it's a scrum.
You make a prediction and inevitably you prove wrong. It'll go to the right and it comes to the left. I like what Victor Vito's done tonight, Smithy. I think he's had a strong game.
He has. People were saying, what did he do really contribute last week when he came on early on? But there's no doubt about it. He's enjoyed starting tonight. He's felt much more part of it. I think he probably, of all the All Blacks in the first half, he probably was the best of those. But he's been matched by far by everybody in the second half. It's been a thorough performance. And I don't think I've been at Carisbrook. I'm not going to be here for an All Black game again, but by this atmosphere, unbelievable.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Siren has gone, Smithy. So next time the ball is dead will be the end of it. But Wales will try desperately. But they've been trapped inside their own 22 here for the last 5 minutes or so. And really just going through the motions here. The All Blacks would love to get their hands on the ball one last time. May not happen. Oh, it's been knocked on. Now can they get it back? No, doesn't look like it. George Clancy says that is a knock-on. It is the end of the game. It's the end of a great era too. Last test match at Carisbrook. The All Blacks have finished in style. 42 points to 9. They led 15-9 at half-time. 5 tries to 0 for a big victory. They've got the band on as quickly as possible. And we're about to hear from the All Black captain, Richie McCaw, leading the All Blacks to another test win. He's with Smithy.
Richie, I'm looking up at 42-9. I'll bet it didn't feel as if it was going to be that margin. The first half didn't go so good. What were the issues there?
Oh, I think we perhaps didn't play enough territory. We tried to play the much rugby perhaps our own half and just, wanted to, handling errors and contact, let them off the hook, or didn't allow us to get any pressure on. So that's what we talked about at half-time, and it was a hell of a lot better in the second half.
Well, it couldn't have been much better, actually. You kept them scoreless in the second half, I think, for about 50 minutes of the game. Just some wonderful continuity in the defence, outstanding.
Yeah, well, that's one part of the game. We had to pick up a level from last week, and when I think perhaps it was because we weren't up by points like we were last week that the boys really dug in and had the intensity there. And in the second half, our defence forced some turnovers, which we capitalised on.
Some new players grew another leg, I think, tonight. Totally different from last week. The questions were asked.
Yeah, they were, and I guess we realised that. The last few years against Wales, they've always been a physical pack, and they come with the attitude to play. So they put some heat on, but I thought every man in the end really stood up.
Daniel Carter, magnificent tonight. There were questions asked, where was the real Dan Carter? I think we've seen it the last 2 weeks. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's right, and I think we've given him some good ball to play with, and he's shown what he can do. So he's a great man to have, and singling out one guy, but there's guys inside and out that have leave holes for those sort of characters. So it's great.
Richie, I know during the week you were quoted as saying you can't wait to get under a roof here in Dunedin. It'll be nice with the new stand, but how about this atmosphere tonight? How about these people?
Oh, mate, outstanding. I think this is one of the best crowds I've experienced here in New Zealand, and I guess it's a shame to see the end of Carisbrook, but I guess we finished it off in style tonight.
You've done that, mate. You've done it a great tribute. Well done, thank you.
Cheers, Smithy.
Just bring in Ryan Jones as well, the Welsh captain. Ryan, first half, very good. You gave them 2 opportunities, they score, and in a way that probably cost you as much as anything.
Yeah, I think we faced a very good All Black team today who capitalised on every mistake we made.
Now, at half-time, they got a rev up. What was your message?
Well, for us it was more of the same, but unfortunately we came out and we were backs against the wall, and we got punished for large parts of that second half.
How about the set pieces? Your line-out looked pretty good. I think they stole a couple off you, but the scrum, you looked at pretty good shape there.
Yeah, look, I thought the set pieces were a pretty even contest. We just seemed to lose out around the rest of the park.
You can't afford to let them counter-attack. They're dangerous.
Well, exactly. They had probably 2 opportunities in the first half and they scored from both of them. I think that was the difference between the 2 teams. They were able to capitalise on our mistakes and we weren't able to capitalise on theirs.
So, again, next week you're meeting Hamilton. What are the things you can take and look forward to there?
Well, we've got much the same for the first half, and we need a bigger, better second half performance.
OK, Ryan, thanks for talking to us. Hard luck tonight. Cheers.
So the Welsh captain Ryan Jones, and just a little landmark here for Richie McCaw tonight, his 39th win as an All Black Test captain, and that equals Sean Fitzpatrick, who did it in 51 Test matches. Richie McCaw in his 45th Test match tonight, 39 Test wins, and he joins Sean Fitzpatrick. And the All Blacks are going to do a lap of honour, and just to thank this very big crowd, and it is well deserved as well.
Well, they're not leaving either in this boat. They are staying here to acknowledge their All Black team, but there is a band assembled in the middle of the field as well to, I guess, signal the end of Test rugby properly here at Carisbrook.
Well, it's been a great old ground, there's no question about that. The All Blacks have played here 37 times for 32 wins now. First played the Anglo-Welsh in 1908, and boy, have there been some games to savour. 1956 when they beat the Springboks. 1959 when Don Clark beat the Lions. How about this? 1962, 3-0, 1 penalty. Unacceptable these days. And then the Lions won here in 71. The All Blacks were beaten in their last 2 games here, 208, 209. And somebody pretty keen to grab, well, Smithy, you'll be a little nostalgic here. That's probably on a good length, because cricket used to be played here, of course.
And that bit of turf is apparently going down to the new stadium. Maybe it'll be the first sod that's laid down there.
Well, we understand a helicopter is coming down to grab that piece of turf. It's off to the new stadium. They had an open day there today, and many people went down and had a look. And it is going to be very impressive indeed.
Yeah. Well, we're sending the Brook off tonight from Test rugby. It will be operational for a while yet, as I understand, perhaps through till about August next year. So Super 15 will still be here at the Brook in 2011.
Yes, it truly has been a magnificent night. Right from the build-up in the streets, people talking about the history, tradition of this very ground here, the House of Pain, Carisbrook. Been watching rugby union for the last 122 years at Test match level. Tonight, it was signed off in some style by a magnificent All Black team. They had to do it tough for the first 40 minutes, but they held in there. The intensity was outstanding in the end. Deserved 42 points to 9 winners in the first of 2 Test matches against Warren Gatland's Welsh side. And joining me once more to analyse this performance, it's a pleasure to welcome the former utility back for the All Blacks, John Preston, and current midfielder or part of the squad, Ma'a Nonu, or Ma'a. I'm not sure how many Test matches you've had to sit up here in the stands having to watch, but what a performance, what a display. What's your initial reaction?
Yeah, it was a great game to watch. I thought the Wales come out, all guns blazing, and by the minute the game got more entertaining and it grew well.
Well, JP, they talked a lot, Wales, about being physical very early on. They wanted to compete. They had their doubts whether they could compete for 80 minutes, and that bore true in the end.
Yeah, it did. I mean, the All Blacks probably a bit lucky to get their noses in front at half-time, really, because the Welsh had done enough, and they dominated position and in position territory as well. And very physical at the breakdown, and defensively, and the All Blacks struggled to break them down, but then it all turned in the second half. Obviously, got the game going, got the speed going, and the lethalness of the backs.
Mark, this side, the All Blacks side, very experienced, it's starting to get there. Patience seemed to be a big part of the display today. They didn't panic right throughout the first 40 minutes. They held in there. The opportunities opened up for them.
Yeah, I guess so. Under pressure in the first 20 minutes, and they adapted well. Kicking the corners and putting pressure to them on the second half. Take
us inside the shed at half-time. You've got experienced coaches and Henry, of course, Wayne Smith and Steve Hansen looking after the forwards. What's the feeling like in the All Black camp under these guys at the half-time break? Did they give you the messages to change the game plan?
It's almost like, depending on the game, we talked about it last year, how the All Blacks always started slow, and if we did that, we'd go inside and the coach would give us a drilling. But I think, the boys adapted that well and always produced the goods in the second half.
Yeah, as I said at the top of the show, nobody wants to leave here. Of course, the piper who piped most of this crowd of 28,500 in, well, he's piping them all out as well. But I can tell you, nobody wants to leave. Everyone will relive this moment. And let's go down now and start getting some post-match reaction to a guy who's actually scored a try here, and he'll have a story of his own from Carisbrook, the House of Pain. Ian Smith is with a very happy All Black coach, Graham Henry.
Well, Graham, I don't know what you said at half-time, but you want to bottle that one. That was some second-half performance.
Yeah, very pleasing. Great way to finish at this marvellous old ground, isn't it? And just it's great the guys played so well and closed it well, closed this historic ground well.
First half, a few issues there, under a lot more pressure, obviously, than last week at times. Didn't react too good.
No, we tried to play too much football in our own half, around halfway. When we got some field position in the second half and kicked a lot better, we played a lot better.
Now, set-piece-wise, always talk about those. The line-outs, again, they look pretty good. You stole a couple of theirs, the scrum.
Yeah, the scrum got better in the second half. I think we tried to battle in the front row individually rather than collectively. We got better in the second half, so that was pleasing.
You upped the ante in terms of the pace of the game. That was noticeable. And the defensive side of things, I don't think they scored a point for 50 minutes. Very pleasing.
Yeah, defence was a lot better than last week. Smithy will be pleased. And so was the attack, much better in the second half. So, no, it's a pleasing, as I said, Smithy, great way to finish in this ground.
Nice to see Tony Woodcock back, and it was like turning a tiger loose. He looked hungry.
Yeah, well, that was the idea. And no, he's obviously a world-class prop, and he hadn't been playing as well as he can do, and they've given him an opportunity tonight, and he just shows us what he can do, so that's great.
Victor, you started with Victor this week, his performance?
Yeah, pleasing. I think he'll be a better player for this experience. He's got a lot of ball in his hands, which is a sign of a good player. And he made some incisions into their defences. Just needs to look after a bit more occasionally. But no, I was pleased. I thought he played well.
Daniel, a lot of people said, well, he was a bit quiet during the Super 14. You got him back. You've changed him back, and he was brilliant tonight.
Oh, I think he's changed himself, really, Smithy. But he's an outstanding footballer and really enjoying his rugby, which is the main thing. If he's enjoying it, he'll play well.
You'll miss the Brook?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, we'll miss the Brook, but we will move on, don't we? In a covered stadium, you wouldn't want to cover the stadium a night like tonight, but sometimes in Dunedin it does get a bit cold.
Good on you, mate. It won't be cold where you're going tonight, I'm sure.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks very much, Graham Henry. Graham Henry, a real historian on rugby union. As I said, in the pre-game show. A lot of All Black games built around tradition and history, and well, it was here in Buckets and JP. I'm sure these guys, with Graham Henry, Wayne Smith, who loves his rugby knowledge, would have talked about sending off the Brooklyn style, the tradition of All Black rugby and the history of 57 years, of course, without a Welsh win.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not always easy, I'm sure, for the All Blacks to have to get up, you know, game after game after game. They have such a long Super 14 season, then straight into a Test campaign. And, you know, some are seen as bigger than others, I suppose. But when you have an occasion like this, it, as you say, is historic and has some real meaning to it. It probably made it a bit easier for the coaches in some respects.
Mark, wonderful crowd out there tonight, 28,500 people. They couldn't have fitted any more people into this ground. Is that a thing that really motivates this All Black team playing in a venue like this?
Yeah, I think it does. You know, the boys, especially when they come in on the bus and you get a welcome, you know, with the kapa haka and stuff, and you get out there on the ground and just the crowd and the atmosphere is great, and it just lifts your spirits.
Of course, JP, last week, 4 tries conceded in the second half of that game, none today. What do you think the difference was?
Oh, I think particularly in the second half, the All Blacks just lifted the intensity all around. It wasn't only in the attack. I mean, the attack came from the lift in the defence, I think, and that's where the opportunities from turnovers came. So I was a little bit disappointed in the Welsh, to be honest. I mean, they put us under pressure in the first half, mostly from kicking. They didn't really use the ball a lot in the midfield. They got under pressure a few times in the second half from our defence, and they lost control of the ball. So lifted intensity from the All Blacks, but a little bit disappointing from the Welsh as well.
Prime Sports coverage of the Steinlager Series was proudly brought to you by MasterCard.